Have a good show tonight. We got the Northern Scrogger joining us tonight. Mr. Papa Kush.
Hi, happy Tuesday.
Tuesday. I knew you were going to say that.
My earphones doing
What's going on?
something. Good. How are you?
I'm good.
We've got a big show tonight. Northern Scrogger is going to be joining us. Oh, I see it just popped into the chat
Yeah, I
there.
was just going to say he just popped in.
Yeah. Oh, I'm excited. I'm excited. Yeah, I've been wanting to talk
That's
about
going to
it
be
for a
good.
little while now.
Yeah, I think I've been following him since I've been
Yeah.
here, since the start,
Oh yeah,
for sure.
absolutely.
But
Absolutely. You want
we
to
want to
bring
just, I was
let's
going to say, do you want to skip all introductions and just bring him
let's
in?
bring him in.
Alrighty.
Nobody wants to hear from us. They want to hear from him.
Well, they always hear from us, so.
Hi Shane. Welcome everybody. Dee, welcome. It's going to be a good interview tonight. If you have any questions, make sure you're popping them into the chat and we'll try and get as many asked as we can.
For sure.
Hi.
Good,
Welcome.
good evening.
Hello, how's it going?
Welcome to Homegirl. How are you doing?
Hey,
Oh,
thank you so much for having me. I'm doing
Awesome.
great. How are
fantastic.
you guys
Good
doing?
to speak with you today. Good
That's
day.
good to hear. Yes, it is a great day. Thank you so much once
Well,
again for having me on here.
Oh,
I
for
really
sure, man.
do
thanks for
appreciate it.
agreeing. So why don't you give
No problem.
yeah,
I love
like
spreading the
my whole
word.
day I get to look at weed and speak about weed and read about weed. I love it. Why don't you
Yeah,
give
that's
And
everybody
I'm
a
pretty sure
little
there's a lot of people in here that want to know about you, so.
yeah, so a little
For
introduction if
sure.
you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, no problem. People that don't know me, and my name is actually Troy, aka Northern Scrogger. I've been teaching people basically the Scrog technique for about 3 years now publicly. So um, I feel like I've been doing pretty well at it. I've been showcasing high times. I've won a few awards. So I just enjoy teaching this technique. And like that's pretty much what it's all about for me is just helping other people learn how to improve their grows and master or like
Yeah.
maximize their spaces, right? Maximize their space, maximize their light. Just, yeah, I'm just here to basically help the
Oh,
community. That's what I love to
fantastic.
do.
Now you just recently won something, didn't you?
Yes, I just won an award at the Toronto Expo, Canada Expo, and it was called the Trailblazer Award. So that's an award for like I guess people are kind of like paving a little bit of a way in the industry, and I wouldn't say that like I'm paving the way. I'm just honored that I was even nominated for that, right? So to be honest, it was my first
Oh,
cannabis award that I ever won, and yeah, it's something that I'm always going to remember
oh,
and be happy for and grateful for. The only reason why I won
yeah.
it is because of followers voting for me. So it wasn't like it was just a vote for your favorite, and yeah, I got it. So thank you to
It's
everyone out
pretty
Oh,
there
that's
who actually
cool.
voted for
fantastic.
me.
That makes it even more special when you know it's your community behind you that got you there. You
Yeah,
know, you've got your followers that are diehards. They're all in here tonight. I see them all in here.
yeah, no, for sure. No, they're all
Right?
they're all
Yeah.
friends. We're all friends now. Build relationships. The community is actually a community. So like, I
It's
just appreciate
amazing
it
how
all,
many
right?
people you actually meet here that you become friends with.
Yeah.
Like we're all
Yeah.
like-minded. We all like
Oh
the same thing.
man.
We're all here for the same reason,
Yeah.
and it's like I've met some unbelievable people here. So
Yeah. It's even better when you meet them in
Right?
person. It's like it's almost like it's almost like meeting like a family member. You actually instead of a
Exactly.
handshake, you kind of give them a hug.
Exactly. Well,
So it's like
you get a nice close
you know
relationship
I,
with them without realizing that you are, you know, and
mhm,
then if you get to meet them in real life, it's like, oh, this is amazing.
yeah,
for sure. And you already feel like you're friends with them, right? Because you've talked to
Yeah.
them like on social media for a while, and or maybe they helped you with something, or you helped them with something. But either way, if you help someone with
yeah,
something,
Yeah,
or they help you, you
exactly.
kind of remember that. And like when you meet that person, and when you meet that person like in person, then it's kind of a game changer because you've already helped them or they helped you, and like you just already feel the vibe.
Who
So it
who are
really is
some of
cool.
the?
So
Oh,
I'm
go ahead.
definitely gonna be hitting up
No,
his.
you finish what
Sorry,
you
go
were saying.
ahead. yeah, I was just gonna say like I'm definitely gonna be going to like as many events
Yeah,
as I
that
can from
looked
now
like
on.
a
That's
lot
for
of
sure.
fun. I wanted to go to the Vancouver because I'm on the West Coast, and I wanted to go to the Vancouver
Beautiful.
one. It just didn't work out. I was like, oh, but April 20th coming, 420's
I
coming. I don't know.
should have gone to the Toronto one. I'm 2 hours
Yeah.
from Toronto.
What side?
West.
South
I'm
or
in
north
London,
or east or west? West.
so I
Oh,
hope so.
cool. Are you gonna be going to
I hope
Niagara?
so.
Yeah, well,
Thanks.
I'm going to that one for sure. There's a few of them. There's one called like Tall Grass I want to go
Yep.
to.
I
That's
think
in
that one's up
Ontario.
Niagara as well.
Like, yeah, well, I'll be going to Niagara twice then because
Yeah,
I just want
I
to
think
get
it's
to
up
them
that
all.
way anyways. So in the area.
You're, you're
Yeah.
Right
addicted
on.
to all the all the expos now.
Yeah, well, I just want to like get out and
Yeah,
meet people. Like I love the
Yeah.
events, festivals. It's just it brings a different aspect to to everything, right? I've been doing this for 3 years. It isn't long, but that was like my first kind of event I ever went to. And it's just really special. I feel like being able to go to something like that where there's so many people that enjoy the same thing as you,
exactly.
and everyone
Did
just
you
has
when
good
you
vibes.
were walking around, did you kind of have your peeking out for faces or see a logo or just kind of keeping your eyes peeled to see if maybe you'd bump into somebody?
Oh yeah, I was definitely my head was on a swivel, but I was a little bit nervous
Yeah.
to be honest with you because, like I said, it was my first event,
Yeah.
so like I didn't know what to expect. First, I had to like be nominated to go on
Oh
stage
my
for this
goodness.
award, so that right there, I was like, holy shit! Like a little bit anxiety
Well,
get
it's
going up
funny
on a
too because
stage,
you're
right?
you're live all the
But
time. You're
then
doing
like
lives and you're putting yourself out there already, but it's a totally different feeling probably having to go up in front of people on stage in
yeah,
person.
Yeah,
that is a great point
Yeah.
because that's exactly it. Like it is like it's more different when you are actually facing a lot of people and you see eyes catching you and it's hard for me to actually know the people because I don't see
yeah,
them live, right? Like they see me and they're like, hey, there's Northern Scrogger, but like
Yeah.
I don't know you. So like sometimes I think I missed a few people because like
of course.
and I don't want to come off as like rude or ignorant, but like
Yeah,
I don't know their faces because like
yeah,
they're
their
Yeah,
they
and on
name,
their
just
logo,
comment
pages,
on my
or their
lives.
page or whatever,
So
right?
and they post pictures of plants.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So a lot of
yes,
people don't even show their face here.
yeah,
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
it's
exactly. So if people are watching now and you see me at an event, please come up to me and say hi because like otherwise I'm not going to be able to recognize unless we like you have like pictures of my
Right?
face all the time and someone to me and stuff, but that
who
doesn't normally happen.
who
That's
were
a
some of the
little
people that
weird.
you ran into there? Just out of curiosity.
Man, I ran into like
Yeah,
Natty Naughty
yeah.
Nursery.
Good
I don't
friend
know
of
if you know
ours.
him,
Yeah,
but he's a
Yeah.
cool dude. The Basement Grow Show.
yeah.
Basement Grow Show was there.
Oh, he's so
He's a great
funny.
guy. Toad Grows.
Toad's in the chat
Yeah.
right now.
Five.
Yeah.
Joe is, yeah, sweet. There's a
Oh,
519 girl,
Yep.
Go
nice,
Girls, her
nice.
name
Oh, she's.
is. Um,
Oh yeah.
she
Oh,
is full of energy. She is like
we
Yeah.
she's like
had
a
Been
we
positive
have
on
our
she's
bubble.
been on here
yeah
before.
we were having our Women of Weed. She
Yeah,
was one of our
she's
nominees,
a,
and oh boy, she's a firecracker. That one, I loved her.
oh man, she is just the same way. She's the same
I
way in
love it.
person as she
Yeah,
is on the, so is Joe,
Natty.
and
Yeah,
so is
yeah.
Yeah.
Natty. They're all the same. Yeah, they're the same people. No one's faking nothing, we all just, and that's the cool thing about it is like everyone was just easy going, but I'm pretty sure like we were all in the same kind of like nervousness. Like we're all not that experienced to go into the events yet. This is all
Exactly.
relatively
Yeah.
new, this
Yeah.
whole like cannabis thing still. So, and then we had COVID on top of that, so that
Right.
shut shit
Yeah.
down for like 2 years almost. So it's
Yeah,
all
it
gonna
really
It
start
is.
happening
it
again,
really
which is
is. It's kind of like
exciting.
a rebirth almost to these expos and stuff because everybody kind of took the time off. Now they can stop, they can focus, they can really, come back with something big instead of just doing the same thing over and over again. Now got something to anticipate, right?
Exactly.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about how you started growing? It was your family that got you started, right?
Yeah, I can. I'll tell you right from the beginning on how it all took place for me. So like when I was a little youngster, probably like I'd say maybe like 8 or 10 years old, I saw my parents going into their garage, right? Like from my back door. Like I had a back door and I saw them going in the garage. And I always wondered like what the fuck are they doing in there? Like it's nighttime. Like my mom doesn't work on cars, and like my dad they might fix the brakes in the car there, but what the fuck's my mom doing? Now that I'm this age, I probably should just mind my own business, because like, who knows what they're really up to in there, right? You never know, actually. Yeah, trying to get away from the kids, like wink, wink. So, but I was a curious little guy, so I waited one night until I saw them both kind of go in there, and then I just kind of snuck out the back door, walked up the garage, and I left the door open, so I just opened it up, and this garage that we had like a loft up top, so you could walk upstairs, and you're in a whole different kind of area. So they weren't on the main floor where the cars parked. They were upstairs. Yeah. So I'm like, what the fuck are they doing up there? Yeah. I probably didn't think like, what the fuck, where's this little guy? So I went upstairs, and when I opened up the door to go up there and I walked in this room, all I seen was like a big plastic out room. So it was like a room that my dad, I guess, hung plastic from the roof to the floor and like made this nice white little dentist office or something it looked like, right? And I just saw their shadows inside of this big bright area. I was like, what's going on in there? So I just kind of walked up and I opened up the plastic sheets and looked in, and my mom and dad were just saying they were like defoliating, basically. They were like defoliating a couple plants. And I was just like, what is that? Like, I didn't really know much back then. And they're like, I scared them, and they're like kind of think they're like, hey, we gotta like take you out. And then at that time I was in public school, so my parents actually got paranoid that I was going to go to school and like tell people, like my mom and dad, because we used to have cops or police officers, they used to come to our school and ask us in like assemblies, do your parents have green stuff around their house? Do you smell like skunky stuff around your house? If you do, raise your hand. And like 8 kids raise their hand. My mommy has tons of skunky stuff.
My mom's got the best dank on the block.
So they got nervous that I was going to be that little kid, which I wasn't, because they did say don't tell anyone, but they still got nervous. So they got rid of it at that time. It was gone. It was gone like probably the next day, really. But as I got older, they started back up. And once I got to be like 15 years old, just getting out of grade 8, I started smoking cannabis with my friends like almost every day. And then I started stealing it from my mom, like from her purse, because my mom grew it. So I was a little punk in grade 9, no money, no job, going to high school, right? I'd go and I'd steal like a 10 bag and go smoke with my friends all the time for my mom. So she started figuring out like someone's taking my shit here. And that's when my mom started teaching me. She's like, instead of you just taking my fucking stuff, I'm going to show you how to do it yourself. And then you can have your own. We'll split it, So I was like, okay, that's kind of cool, but you can't tell anyone. This is our secret, blah, blah, blah. That's how it all started for me. And my mom was a scrogger. So I learned how to scrog from my mom right away. And my first grow I ever had was a scrog that I was taught on. That's why I just religiously love the scrog.
That's funny. I was going to ask you who that was, who you kind of looked up to and got the scrogging technique from, but you just answered that. So
have you always scrogged? Like, have you ever tried it without?
Yeah. Like I've grown plants like without scrogging, like outside most of the time, or like I've worked at like grow facilities now where like I grew plants like just using trellis nets and stuff, and but I've done like mostly outdoors. When I was younger, I'd just throw plants out there just to get some quality, or not quality, but some like
quantity,
quantity. Because outside plants, you just quantity. I just want to get a whole bunch, right? So and then but yeah, for the most part, any indoor grow I ever did, which was once a year basically, was all scrogging.
Nice.
And
that's cool. Yeah, I've asked a few people that same question, like that do the scrogging, like who did you learn this from, or who did you look up to? And everybody seems to always say the Northern Scrogger. Your name always comes up.
That's
like
awesome.
There's a few people that's come on here and I've asked that because they got a nice tent that's nice heated canopy. They got the scrog net in there, and it doesn't necessarily look like yours, but it looks like they're trying real hard to make it look like yours. So I asked you, and your name always comes up. So,
man, I really love that. Like it is honestly, it is rewarding because I do see it too. I see it a lot in the community. I look at people's screens. I'm like, wow, they definitely made that based off someone who learned from me or learning from me, and like I really love it. It's just, it is rewarding. Just like it is really positive to see, and I'm just happy that it's actually, I'm influencing others, like that's huge. And the most thing that's positive about it is people are learning and actually gaining quality and quantity from it.
Yeah. Each time they do it, they're going to get better and better and better. you know, so you know that those pictures that they're sending you now, the next run, they're going to be even better, you know, and you're going to be even more impressed.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Yeah, people just, I've already taught people, say 2.5 years ago, that were already super experienced growers. I taught them this technique, and now they like make me look like I'm the amateur. I'm like, holy fuck, look at your grows now, man. Like don't show that to people, because holy shit,
Yeah.
you're gonna be like the best. But I'm just joking. But yeah, no, for real, people are definitely like, they're just as good, if not better, as me. It only takes a few times to do it. Like, no one's better than the other. So once you learn the technique and once you get good at it, then you're just as good as the next person. You can't, like, there's no way to like, I'm better than you, because we both do the same way, you know, like, how can you be better?
Well,
You just got to learn it.
Each
and then do the
cultivar is a
same.
little bit different, and each environment is a little bit different. So I mean, you could be growing the exact same plant, doing the exact same thing, and end up with two different results, right? So yeah,
100%.
so it's not you know,
Oh
it's
yeah.
not good to compare yourself
Yeah,
to other
that's
people. You know, it's look up to them, learn from them, but don't compare, because that's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, definitely don't compare. That's
Like,
a
I
good
get people that are
for
like,
sure.
oh, look at yours compared to mine. Like, we started these at the same time. They're finishing at the same time. Yours are way bigger. You know, I'd say, but how long have you been growing for? Well, a year? I'm like, okay. Well, now I have something to compare that to, because when I started and I was a year in, my grows didn't look half as good as what yours look, you know? So
Yes, exactly. Exactly. And that's a good way to explain it to people, because a lot of new growers are better than they actually think.
for sure. Like, they don't know what we went through.
Because they're comparing themselves.
Or what the next guy went through.
I was lucky. I was lucky myself, because I had my mom, and fucking she was like a pro. So I got lucky there. But yeah, for new growers nowadays, like, they have a good base to learn from. So like,
I am 100%
there's so much
YouTube
info
University.
now.
I taught myself through YouTube, watching Grower Joe when he was back when he was basement, you know, basement autoflowers, and you know, Cat Grows, and the Dude Grows, all those channels. Like, I'm Mr. Grow It, you know, the stash, like, oh, so many. Like, I just immersed myself into it and learned as much as I can, and I'm still learning every day.
Yeah,
me too. Actually, Mr. Grow It, and Mr. Canucks were actually the kind of channels that made me want to start going public with my stuff, because I just felt like I had like a little bit of something different that I could kind of add to the community at the time, because I didn't see many scrogs like the way that I scrog. So I just thought, like, you know what, like, maybe I should try it. I was during COVID, so like, I was laid off from my job. I had a nice scrog on the go at the time. So I was like, you know what, I should just start fucking giving out scrog tips and see what happens. And here I am now today, with still going, still giving out scrog tips.
And it's funny too,
what's
because
gonna happen.
Just over the course of the time that I've been here, like, I've only been here for like just over a year, I guess. And I didn't see very many scrogs at the beginning, but now they're everywhere. Everybody wants to scrog. You know, or they try to go with the scrog technique without the scrog and still kind of get the same results. You know, like, it's a big deal right now.
It's becoming, it definitely is starting to become like some people, like, they just use a trellis and they'll say they're scrogging, which is fine. Like, that might be the way that they scrog, because there's a few different styles of scrogging. But like, trellis growing and scrogging is definitely becoming like mainstream. Like, everyone's using a screen of some sort, right?
It's
like,
efficient.
Everyone is. Like, it used to never be like that.
Yeah,
and like a few years ago, to catch colas and everything, no matter how you do it, it's definitely the way to do it. Because even if you just do a trellis grow, you can still spread out your branches on different holes on your trellis. And then, as long as your branches are all spread apart, then you're gonna have like a big grow happening there, right?
How long do you usually veg for?
I usually veg for around 2 months from a seed.
Oh, from seed 2 months.
Yeah, this run I might go a little bit longer. My plants aren't as quick this time. Maybe it's the genetics this time, but yeah, this time I might go like a month or a couple months and a week or so. I might go a week longer. Who knows? I just gotta play it by ear and see how things go. But yeah, normally it's 2 months from seed is when I flip to flower, and that's just because like mainly because I'm a patient.
Yeah.
And like
Like,
2
oh,
months,
yeah,
two months is a long time.
I want to start seeing the pretty flowers.
Yeah, like I want to
Yeah.
flip this. I want to see buds. Yeah, like that's what it's all about. And another thing is like it's good to flip around the 2 month mark because eventually the way that I scrog, if I just keep on edging, the center of my screens are going to become like kind of clusterfucked. So it just fills in that screen so much, and I need to like start like removing stuff or changing stuff or twisting branches around, and like so I don't really want to do that because it just,
it's more
just
work.
keeps on growing.
Work
Everything keeps on growing. So yeah, you can tuck the outsides. The outsides you can keep on tucking. What are you gonna do when you're running out of room on the center of your straw? Like keep on topping or something?
Yeah.
Like
Well, yeah,
you
you're
don't want to keep
just
on
going to fill
topping.
your tent even more. Or not necessarily your tent, but you grow in a
Exactly.
room, right?
Yeah. Like you might think like if I just snip this branch here, then that's going to delete the clusterfuck. But really in a week,
Yeah, you're
you're
just
going to have
adding
two
to
more
it at that
branches
point.
there.
Exactly.
And the more you bend
So
them
yeah.
down, the more tops you're going to end up with again. So
Yeah, the more you keep on tucking, the more tops you're gonna get. So then once you're into like mid flower, it's gonna get really tight right at that screen, and everything's gonna grow into each other, and it's gonna just become like really messy. And that's how you get powdery mildew because everything is kind of bunching up with each other, and like all the leaves are touching the leaves, and it gets wet in between the leaves, and you pull leaves apart, you see a lot of moisture. You're like, why is that happening? Because everything's all just stuck together at that point. So it's the same thing with your buds. If your buds touch each other, they're gonna get wet in there too from humidity and all that kind of stuff.
have you always grown in a room or have you grown in tents as well?
I've grown in tents a few times, not a lot. My last run, not the last run, but the run before that was I grew in a 4x8 tent, and I had another 4x4 tent on the side. But I like rooms. I'm a room kind of guy. I've always grown in a room learning when I was younger, and I didn't get into tents until I actually made my own kind of tents. I had my own brand tent out for a while, and I had two of them. Yeah, it was pretty cool, and I just grew in those two tents, which is nice. I still have them, so one day I'll probably bust them out again and do another tent grow somewhere. Yeah, but I do like the Scrog room. Like I like the open concept of my room.
You've got such a beautiful looking room. It's like it makes my heart sing every time I see the pictures because everything's in order, everything's clean, everything's like perfect looking, and it's just like the dream
like that
garden.
Dentist's office you were talking about earlier.
Yeah, that's what it is. It was like walking into that garage. Like they had it spick and span, and my mom always had her room spick and span. She always said, like, to avoid bugs and shit, we keep our room clean. So your first job is to fucking start doing the floors. I'm like, well, I want to play with the plants. She's like, no, you're gonna wash the floors, and then you're gonna wash the walls, and then you're gonna like dust off the light, and then that's what you're gonna do, and you're gonna do it like every other day. I'm like, every other day. And she's like, yeah, like so. I just learned how to like just keep the shit clean.
Well, yeah, exactly.
My house isn't like that. Like inside my house is fucking a write-off probably, but like in my grow room, it's clean.
Area, that's all that matters.
That's funny.
Yeah. People come over, I'm like, just come in this room. Don't even look up there.
Yeah.
It's like a dental office in
here. Nice and bright. It's nice and clean.
Yeah, it's nice and warm.
No,
that's funny.
If I remember correctly, you're growing in those living soil beds. Is that right?
I have one living soil bed, then I'm also growing in auto pots, and I'm also growing
those
in
are amazing pots, aren't they?
Pots. Yeah, those bud trainer pots are the best pots that I've definitely ever used, and like just based on like even like the hard rim on these fabric pots alone is what I like, what I enjoy the most, because when I fill up my pots, I don't have to like have someone holding their bag open or like like me trying to wrestle with the bag and then the other bag and try to get them in. The thing just sits there like I can just cut the soil bag and just dump it in there perfectly.
It's amazing
that's the main thing.
And then around the top that they have that brace along the top just to keep it up. It's absolutely fantastic. I absolutely love them. Do you use the clips as well?
I do use the clips, but I don't always use the clips, but this time I use the clips in my living soil bed because I don't have anything to like tie down to. So the clips are perfect for that. So yeah, I like the clips as well for sure. They're like their clips that they have aren't like really aggressive. They have like a nice,
I think I might have one.
Actually I have them right here.
You got one?
I have like a pack of them right here. Yeah. But they're not like super aggressive. They have a nice,
Yeah, they
nice
are.
curved slope on them.
They're very gentle.
So
It's very gentle to the branches, and if you forget about them, then you get a really cool little shape out of your branches.
you do, but you don't want to forget about them too long because they actually will, your plant will kind of grow into them and it'll kind of hurt your plant. So you want to use them, and I'd say give it like 2 or 3 weeks, and you want to pop it off. Your plant will stay like, after that long time, your plant will stay bent like that. But you'll notice when you take them off that you'll see like little dents coming in your stems, which is normal. That's going to happen, but you are kind of restricting your plant a little bit when you start
you're kind of choking it a little bit
like that. But they're wicked for the initial, but initial
Amazing.
training, they're fucking awesome.
I just did my 3-week defoliation in my spider farmer tent, and I found one right at the very bottom, and I was like, really?
Nice.
One. I forgot one out of the whole tent, and it was choking the branch, but she was, well, it's off.
Did you leave
now.
it on?
It's off now. Yeah, it took a
Was
minute.
it hard to get off?
I had to take 2 hands and kind of give it a good little pop, and it came off. It didn't scratch it or anything like that, but she's got a good little dent in her now.
Yeah, same as mine. I took mine off actually, I think yesterday, off the bottom stalks, and yeah, they have the little indent, which is cool. But my stems are just like they come up and just bent right over, which is perfect. Like it's exactly what I wanted. So like it did exactly what I needed it to do, and now the thing's gonna stay there like that.
Exactly.
It's like now they're like nice,
and it almost
stems.
gives them a little bit of like an elbow. It braces them a little bit almost when you do that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it builds that little knuckle in there. Yeah, they become like a lot stronger.
I've never used the clips, but I always just tied down or made my own clips out of the wire, and I've had those grow right in, like they disappear in the plant.
Yeah, man, that's what I did too. I used to use the tie, like that's one of my main things is the tie down. So when I'm using the bud trainer pots, like the actual pots themselves, I don't use the clips. I just like use their yellow tie down.
The bud huggers.
But I just use the bud huggers, exactly. And then I just like go into the branch, pull it down, hook into one of the holes that's on the pot. Normally I used to cut the hole there with scissors. I just fucking cut my pot. Now I'm like, fuck, there's holes and I can use it a few times.
And it's perfectly spaced grommets. I found that for that, like some of them I've seen that they have like 4 grommets. You know, it's like, what are you going to do with that?
You end up cutting it anyways.
I know.
But I find that they're perfectly spaced, so you can adjust to the plant. The pot doesn't need to adjust to the plant. The plant can adjust to the pot, right? So yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, they're everywhere. The holes feel like you never don't have a hole. You're like, it's funny to say, but there's never like not a hole to use. So you're always able to like use it multiple times if you have to. I've even tied off rubber, the rubber onto a branch and then back down onto another piece of rubber. Instead of not even going into the hole, just like rubber to rubber.
I've tied down to other branches before too.
I've tied down to fan leaves. I've actually tied, I've tied like an upper node, like a small upper node coming. I actually tied it down and made a little U-hook with like one of those bud huggers to a bottom strong big fan leaf stem, back up to the fucking little node, then pulled it down and let it start horizontal as I could.
That I've definitely never done, but
I have pictures of it. I can have pictures of my scrog tips on my website. You can train like actually on like big fan leaves in that stage of growth.
Nice. What is the website for anybody listening here? If they want to go check it out. Nice.
NorthernScrogger.com.
And
NorthernScrogger.com.
as well, Northern Scrogger.
It's just
or is it the Northern Scrogger?
Yeah, on YouTube. No, on YouTube it's Northern Scrogger. The reason why it's the Northern Scrogger on Instagram is because they deleted my first account called Northern Scrogger, and now I can't get that back, so I had to make the Northern Scrogger. But there's so many fake accounts now that I don't know how I'm going to create another one when I get deleted again. Because I'm probably gonna get like one time I'll get deleted, coming up here and then I'm gonna be like, fuck, every scammer in the world has took like the Northern Scrogger .0, Northern Scrogger _.
I know I'm running out of names. This is my 4th account that I'm on now, so every time I do it, I gotta change it.
Wow.
In a year.
Holy shit.
In a year.
In a year.
Oh,
it is very.
That's frustrating.
Hard. I don't know why. Like he's made somebody up there mad.
Man, that's why it's why when it got deleted the first time, that's why I was like, holy shit, I had 25,000 followers just like right now. I woke up one morning and it was gone. I'm like, wow, that's pretty sad. Well, first, you can get it back if you send us a picture of this, a picture of that. Like, so I sent them pictures. I felt like I was like a criminal. I'm holding up my name like this, and like, yeah, here I am, Troy Cody, man. Like, blah blah, and like, and they still didn't. They didn't even respond to me. So I was like, whatever. I'll just start a new one, but I'm going to spend more time on YouTube now, and I'm going to do my Scrog school. Because I always wanted to do a Scrog school, so I'm just going to start doing a Scrog school and teach people on YouTube live. I'm not going to like make like I'm not going to focus on like videos or like seed to harvest videos because I'm not good at that. I'm not good at those kind of editing skills, right? But I can just go fucking live and show you everything every Thursday. So I just took it to that, and that's just how I started to run it now. And now I'm going to start doing a couple little edited videos as I learn, right? But right now I'm just going to continue going live.
Exactly, and you're very personable with your audience. I've popped into your school a couple of times now, and you have a really nice connection with your followers, and you're very patient with the questions. And you know, it's a pleasure as a listener to listen and to learn from you, because you definitely have a skill.
Yeah,
you're very welcome.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, the followers are like, they like I said earlier, they're my friends. So like when I go in there now in Scrog school and like I do the little Scrog talks, like I recognize everybody. Like I don't recognize everyone, but their names, like I'm like, I saw that name, and like some of them are like, I know you really well now. Like, so like it's that is like, and then you see them talking to each other saying, hey, what's up, man? How's it going? How was your thing last night? And they're all like having conversations in the side chat. And then I'm like, sometimes I like start reading off questions and I read off one of their like side chat things and like, oh, okay.
You don't understand what's going on because they're off having a really different conversation than what you're having.
And you know what? A lot of those people probably met because of you, because they were watching what you're doing.
Yeah.
Which is also cool.
That's the thing. And then they thank me. Like they'll thank me and be like, hey, Troy, thank you so much for creating this. And I'm like, hey, man, you guys are the ones that pretty much created it. And like, because a lot of them actually live in the same state. They're actually meeting each other in person and like swapping things and like fucking becoming actual friends like in person too. So yeah, it's awesome to like just.
It's an amazing community. Like I've said it over and over again. When I first came into this community, I was a little nervous, being a female grower. And putting myself out there in the internet, I'm like, oh, what kind of feedback am I going to get? I've had nothing but positive. I've had one troll. He didn't like a seedling picture. And I'm like, sorry, buddy.
I forgot about that.
So sorry.
Seedling pictures are too boring. Stop posting those.
Yeah, he got really mad at me for posting a
really
picture. And I'm like, but did you not see the flower picture I posted earlier this morning? Like, I do both. He was so mad at me.
Yeah, you do it.
Well, you know what? That means you're doing something right. If you have someone hating on you like that, then just let that fire you up, because that means that they're probably jealous of you. You're like, fuck, look at this girl, man. She's better than me. And she's
for 20 years.
Look how good she is. Her seedlings look amazing. Her seedling is so nice. Like, fuck you. You suck. You know that? That's a seedling picture. Like, that's what they do. I have hundreds of haters.
It's totally true. It's hilarious how people react. It's like, just scroll by then. Like, if you don't like my seedling
it's that simple.
Yeah.
Just keep going.
100%. Yeah, or delete me, block me, like that's fine. Like if you don't want to see my stuff, just hit that block button.
You'll be doing us both a favor.
Everything's good.
Right? Have you had any major issues with any trolls at all? Like a couple snippy comments, I'm sure, but anything really bad?
I've had major issues during this journey so far. Like I've had like death threats. I've had people fucking steal my name and rip people off thousands of dollars, and like I've actually had it proven to me. Like people,
oh my goodness,
these people. Yeah, I've had letters to my house. Just a bunch of crazy shit. To be honest with you, I've had people call me out saying they're coming to my house to meet me because I owe them money, and they actually found my real address and sent me my real address. I'm like, holy shit, man. Like, he's like, I'll be there in like 4 days. I'm like, what happened? And he sent me the screenshot of like money that he gave some scammer of mine, like thousands of dollars for seeds. And like, I don't even sell seeds, man. You got to look at the accounts, like, so yeah, there is a lot of freaky shit that happens when you try to I guess help
Yeah.
people or something but at the same time it does suck that people can use my name and
Yeah.
I
And then
get
screw things
tell you
around
how many
Instagram is
times a week
like that.
I get messages saying that they're Mr. Canuck. Like you
oh
guys
yeah.
have probably both got those ones. I'm
Mr.
Mr.
Grow It's
Canuck, you know.
Mr.
Oh
Grow It's
yeah.
a good one. That
Yeah.
one's been around for a while
Yeah,
too.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Grow It a lot for sure. Anyone they can think they can just use, and like anyone that has like a good personal following, I feel like they attack and like they just go after, and it really does suck because my community is like, I feel like it's special to me, you know, like I feel like we built something really good at our community, and it's not even our community, it's like everyone's community, and it just sucks when people fucking ruin it by doing shit like this.
I agree.
It's sad, really.
Yeah.
It makes it look bad. Like we want to try to like turn it all around to be a positive vibe, so we can get things more legalized. But if people are getting scammed, then people are getting fucking pissed off. It just makes
Exactly. And it's not a bad community. I've been so welcomed in this community that, you know, it's been a little overwhelming at times, you know, how much, like I dipped out for a little bit and like I was getting messages and messages and I'm like, hey, come back, don't worry, I'm just taking a minute.
Yeah, we all have real lives too.
Right?
Yeah. Yes. For sure.
Well, I mean, the way I look at it is people come to Instagram or social media to forget their real life. You know, this is a distraction, you know. So let's make it as enjoyable as possible and not a negative space, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. There's times and places to do that kind of shit. Like everyone has a time and place, but normally when people have good vibes, it's not really the time kind of thing. So like, but yeah, like for sure, I get that too. There's a lot of those like keyboard warriors, like people that like will say it on a screen, but they won't say it to your face ever. Like that happens a lot on social media. But that's all the kind of stuff you got to embrace. Like I said, like if you don't have those people, you're not doing something right. You need to have haters. You need it because that's the world we live in. And like I feed off my haters. Like they light fires under my ass, and it makes me want to fucking go harder.
You
and
hated
achieve
that?
more.
You're getting 4 more just like it
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I'm like, okay, sweet, man. Like you hate that? Like, well, there's a few more people that like it than a few people that hate it. So I'm just like, I just like, you know, it's just keep on going.
Yeah, you hate it when you see the next one.
Right?
Yeah, wait till things go to flower and tell me how much you fucking hate it.
Now, I noticed on your Instagram today that you were doing some ice fishing recently. Did you catch anything?
Yeah, I catch fish called lake trout, whitefish, and like perch, mostly in the lake that I fish in right now. So yeah, I catch fish normally each time we go out. I ice fish a lot. That's one of the main hobbies in the winter is the ice fish. So it's just what I do. I don't even fish that much in the summer. I'm always like fucking working and not really. I'm always in the grow happening. So in the winter, I usually take like a month off. So I just go on the ice and just drill holes and fish.
That's awesome. Do you have the little house as well?
Yes, I love it. Yeah, I have like it's called like a pop-up ice hut. So like I tow it by my snowmobile. And then when I get to my spot, I can just like kind of pop it up like a tent. And it just flips over my head, and I can drill my holes inside of it and turn my heater on. It gets nice and hot. I can take my coat off if I want, open up all these little windows in there and look out the windows hotbox it. But I get nervous to hotbox it, to be honest with you. But I do, because there's police officers that cruise around on snowmobiles. Yeah, so all of a sudden you'll be sitting there hotboxing your fishing tent, and then your snowmobile will pull up, and the guy will get out. Hey, excuse me, open up your door, and you're like, holy fuck. And then you open up your door, and then a bunch of smoke comes out, and he's like, hey, are you driving this thing home? And then you're like, no. And then they're like, well, how the fuck is it getting off the middle of the lake for 20 minutes, you know? And you're fucked, and they can charge you with a DUI. It's the same penalty as smoking weed as it is drinking alcohol.
Yeah.
And that's a bad thing if you get a DUI.
Yeah.
So like, I'm just nervous to do it, you know? Like, I'll go step outside and smoke it. I won't hotbox my
fresh air for a minute.
Yeah, let's go step outside, fucking smoke a couple of big joints, cough my ass off, get really high in the cold,
tuck back in,
and then go back in there and Yeah, and start catching fish all
Nothing
baked.
better than
That's awesome.
that.
No, it's fun. I guess you wouldn't
Yeah.
get to experience
Well,
that
I
out
actually live
west,
on a lake. No, it
but it
is
probably
it
doesn't
is
freeze
frozen
though,
right
right? Or
now.
does
Yeah,
it
it is
freeze?
frozen right now. We're thawing.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
we're not allowed to ice fish
Hmm.
on our lake, but people do. And I'm going to say I maybe or
Really?
maybe not have done it. I'm not sure, but
Do you know what kind of fish that
we've
are
got
in there, like
trout. We've got
salmon or
trout in there,
trout?
and they're beautiful,
Nice.
beautiful. And when the water comes up
Yeah.
in the summertime, because we get like a glacier runoff, and when the mountains start melting, we start rising. And my husband was actually able to fish off of our front lawn for the last 2 years. Yeah, it was pretty.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was pretty
Oh my
cool.
God, that's
Pretty cool. So we were
amazing.
out there, and he's like teaching me how to fish and do all this stuff. Because I'm a city girl, right? So this is all new to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the lake
Yes.
is coming up towards your house because the what happens, like, is it kind of scary that's getting that close
We
to your
had
house,
one
or you're
year
not
that
worried
we
about
were
that?
really scared. We had sandbags ready to go, and it was like, okay, if it gets up one more inch, we got to start bagging, and it never quite got there, but yeah,
Holy,
it was really close one year.
yeah,
Yeah,
that would be
yeah, it was.
Office
Look,
nervous.
says lake and bull trout and kokanee.
there we go. Lake
That's what he said.
Bull trout?
bull trout. I think it's bull trout.
Yeah.
Bull.
Oh,
I think it.
Yeah, he corrected himself after. He
Oh
said
yeah,
bill and then said bull.
bull. Yeah.
wow, I don't think I've ever even heard of that
Yeah,
kind of a trout. That's pretty
and
cool.
then we get the salmon that come in. They spawn upriver from us, so they stop and they eat. And so we get a nice little salmon, spring salmon, the kokanees, and then they go up and
Wow,
spawn. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
man,
Pretty
that's
cool.
nice.
Cool.
Yeah, that would be.
Yeah,
See, I wouldn't have
Yeah.
experienced
it's
that.
kind of funny because you're on the East Coast, I'm on the West Coast, and we're both, I get to enjoy it more in the summer because we don't freeze very often. But yours is frozen seems all the time.
Yes. Well, yeah, the last few years it's frozen, but it's always sketchy, right? It's never safe. Like, always ice is kind of, you can never, like, no ice is safe
Yeah.
ice, people tell you.
We got a
So,
question that just popped up here.
but yeah,
When should I start? Yeah, when should I start the
so it
scrog?
says,
Late veg or
yeah,
early flower?
you should start the veg early,
Early
or you should start your
veg.
scrog early veg. So the question is, when should I start scrog? Late veg or early
Early
flower? You
veg,
should
yeah.
start it early veg. So, like, I start my scrogs like per se, like the starting of my scrog is beginning of when I train my plant. So when my plant is, like, say 2 weeks old from the seed, 2.5 weeks old, I can start bending it over, bending the top over, and start exposing the lower nodes of the plant, right? That's the beginning of the scrog to me. And then I'm going to keep on, like, bending my plant over for the next, like, couple weeks, exposing more lower nodes so they can keep on growing with the top of my plant now, because my top is bent over. And then I usually apply my screens on about a month into it, right after. So I guess now we're looking at, like, mid-veg, you know? So, because I count seedling stages, like, usually the first 2 weeks for me. That's, like, kind of seedling. And then you get into, like, early veg, which is, like, 3 weeks. Your plant's kind of, like, starting to take off at that point. And then you get into, like, the month zone. I put my screen on, and then I just keep on tucking for another month, because I normally veg for 2 months, right? So once I put my screen on after the first month, I just keep on tucking into that screen. Each plant, keep on tucking, keep on tucking. And then after 2 months, I'm either impatient, or I know, because my screen is getting pretty close to being 80% full at that point, I can flip my lights to flower. But the plant is going to continue stretching. So I'm going to keep on filling in my screen that still has 20% to fill in. So during that flowering stretch, I'm just going to keep on tucking everything that is stretching really tall above anything else. I want to keep everything at, like, an evenish canopy now. So I'm just going to keep on tucking tall branches that are growing fast during the flower stretch. That usually lasts for around, like, say, 12 to 17 days ish on most genetics. That's when the stretch of the plants, once you flip, stops. So once it kind of starts to slow down, that's when I stopped tucking, because I still wanted to kind of stretch a little bit above my screen, about 8 inches if I can't get it 8 inches, or like 6 to 8 inches is what I aim for to have my top colas. So that's the tricky part, is knowing when to stop tucking. Sometimes it's a hit, sometimes you miss, sometimes you bang on, but you're always pretty close. Once the plants start to slow down from that stretch, I stop tucking. And my last time I tucked the whole canopy and everything, it's about, I'd say it's 15 days into flower. It's the last time I'm going to tuck everything. I'm going to tuck it all. I'm going to tuck everything at the same level. And then I'm going to step back and I'm going to leave it all alone. And then at that point, everything is just going to come up together at the same height. And you might have to work a few things here and there, remove a fan leaf here and there, but for the most part, you just let it ride out. Then you don't need a second screen. You don't got to add a second screen. You just grow like colas. They're going to be like normally like 8 inches, and that's perfect height. That's a perfect height cola, because anything normally look below like an 8-inch cola, you start like having like a stem and then a bud. So like you're going to grow a bunch of those top colas that are like that are just fucking perfect.
And do you pull everything off below the net? Like all your leaves and everything? Yeah, below the screen. So during veg, right 1 week before I flip my plants to flower, I'll go underneath my screens and I'll like defoliate everything right down to the bare stick. Just take it all away. And so that's 1 week before I flip the flower. I do that because I want my plants to heal for a week. I want them like to kind of recuperate from that major defoliation. It's not just like a light defoliation.
Rip everything
I take a lot off my plants. Yeah, just rip it right up. I really hurt them, basically. It's a lot of stress. So I give them normally a full week to recover from that. And then I flip them to flower. And like I said, I keep on tucking. And once I get to be like, say, 18, 21 days around that area, I go underneath my screen again and I take everything off once again, a major defoliation. So that's 2 major defos I do throughout my grow. But at the same time, between those 2 times, here and there, I'll take off like fan leaf here, fan leaf there. I'll tuck a fan leaf there. Like I do remove a few here and there, but it's not like major defoliations. It's just like that fan leaf is really blocking like 4 bud sites right now. And like I can't tuck it. It's just going to cramp shit. So I am just going to remove it.
Just grab a handful kind of every day as you go in. Just have a quick look, see if anything's in there, clean it up a little bit. Yeah, droopy ones that are just like old and dying off, because that happens too. Like not all the leaves on your plants are going to stay perfect forever. Like sometimes some of the lower leaves are just kind of that are like blocked away from the light so much, they might just turn into like shitty leaves that you just remove, and you're not going to kill your plant by taking those.
Does that
off.
light that you have on your scrog, like you have the lights that go around the outside of it, right? Does that help with that? Like, does that help keep those kicking longer?
Are you talking about the lower canopy lights? Yeah, I was just about to actually talk about that.
Well, you were talking
That's cool.
about the leaves dying off because they're not getting light, and I was like, wait a minute, he's got a light down there.
Exactly. Yeah, so on one of the things that I'm growing with in my grow room, I have something called the green leopard system, and it has lower canopy lighting on it. So it has lights above and lights below, and I used it my last run, and it actually worked out really well. I had a lot of heat from that too when I started showing what I was using. Like a lot of people were like just telling me that I'm an idiot. My plants are gonna die within the next like
the haters,
couple of weeks and shit like that. And like they didn't. They thrived right through it. Yeah, just the haters, but not so much the haters because I completely understand where they were coming from. Like we've been taught since growing kind of started that plants don't receive light from underneath the leaves, right? And that's what I've been taught. And like that's what I've always been told. So I was like, you know what? Like, I don't know if I should do this. Like, and then I just thought I'm going to try it because I never tried it. I've only heard that. And like, I got to try it for myself. So yeah, I tried it and it fucking actually worked out perfect. Nothing died, nothing crumbled, nothing shriveled, nothing twisted up or on the leaves. I use it correctly, you know.
As well, I would think, because they hide underneath the leaves to get away from the light and the heat. So if you've got light blasting from both sides, you've got nowhere to hide.
Yeah, I never even thought of that, but like that could be
That could be actually a kind of, like, you might have fucking actually thought of something right there, like a selling point. You should probably reach out to these people and be like, listen, like, I can fucking give you a selling point. How much money can you give me? Because fuck, I could like add something to your like designing. Like, imagine that. It could help with fucking bugs and all that shit. IPM.
That's a good point. I never even thought of that, really. But you see the people that have those green lights, the ring light or whatever, it goes on the top of the pots. I don't know if you've seen those. They use
I
them.
don't think I have.
They turn them on for like a minute or something like that during the night time, like the dark period. So they turn them on for, I think it was like 60 seconds or 30 seconds. It was really short.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to help with all the pests and powder mildew and all kinds of different stuff.
Wow.
And it's just this like green ring light that literally sits on your circle pot.
I feel like I've heard of
what
this,
it's called though.
Mad Hatter Organics was running them. We were interviewing Mad Hatter Organics, and he had them.
There was somebody else that I saw right after that
That's
too that had it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, UV maybe. Yeah. General sense, maybe UV.
Yeah,
might
that's
be
pretty
UV
cool.
light, yeah.
So that light thing is a real thing.
So they
for
just
sure.
Yeah, that like it's made for actually to control bugs and shit. Wow.
Yeah, there's
That's
Yeah,
pretty
so
cool.
that idea that you just came up with might actually be.
Yeah, no, for sure. You should actually like reach out, or you should study it. You should actually study it and see, and maybe like, yeah, because that could be definitely, you're right, because bugs definitely hide in the shade, right? They hate it, and like if they have light pointing at them there and they can't hide there, they're gonna be like, fuck this place.
Let's go next door.
Let's go to the other plants that are on the other side of the wall over
That's
there.
where you keep your bait plants. Now, what do
That's where you keep the citronella.
What do you usually do for IPM?
Right now, right now, normally I never really did anything. Like I use a substance called insect frass. That's not really for IPM, but bugs hate to be in like other bug shit. So like right there, if you put enough insect frass in your medium, if bugs come, they'll sense that and they kind of screw off. And I've never honestly really had bug issues my whole time. I keep my room clean and spotless, and I just like I never really had problems. And then now started getting into living soil. So I had to study things, right? And before I just jumped into all of this, I actually did a lot of research and learned a lot of stuff. And like once I built my soil, I released all the nematodes, and I released some predatory mites, and I released some worms. Worms don't help with bugs, but it's just some of the bugs that I added. And I added these bugs before I had a bug issue, so they could establish themselves in my living soil bed. And so with me doing that, I feel like I built like a ecosystem of the good bugs in there. They're all fucking thriving. Like my bugs are doing really well. I look at them with like microscopes sometimes, and I check them all out. Like it's kind of gross to look at, but I know they're all really good bugs. But like I feed my worms avocados, and they just thrive off these things. I lift up my avocados, and there's like bundles of worms just like mating.
I was just showing Mama mine like yesterday.
So
check this out. I picked up the avocado, and it was just like a ball.
Big ball.
You're running the Vermibec
it's
worms
awesome,
too, aren't you? Yeah, all of us are.
Yeah, they're so good.
He's a good dude too.
They're good. I love them.
Oh,
yeah, I've been talking to him.
And
I've been chatting with him a little bit.
He's been a really big supporter of our community. He's a fantastic guy, and he's got awesome hair on Friday nights too. I gotta say. Yeah, we have.
I think I'm checking out on a Friday.
What does he come in and chat with you guys?
And stuff on Fridays. You're more than welcome to.
You guys do this too on Fridays? Come in and just chat.
Tuesdays we do like a sit down interview, a booked interview with one special guest, and you get the full time. And then on Fridays we do Grow Me Gardens, so anybody can pop in, and you're more than welcome to pop in anytime you'd like, and just spend 10 minutes with us and show off your gardens, ask questions, hang out with us for a minute, have a toke, and it's
kind of like an open mic night.
Yeah. It's a lot of
That's
fun.
what it is.
That's cool.
And we get to see them every week. So, we might have helped them with their little seedlings, and now they've come back, and we get to see them every week because they're popping in and updating us. It's so much fun.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'll
get people that come in that are,
sure.
you know, they've been growing for like 20 years, and we've been growing for like 5 years.
Yeah.
So we'll get somebody that pops in it,
Yeah.
and then they want to come on and chat, and then we just end up sitting there in silence and letting them talk because we're like taking notes, you know. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's what I'd be doing too. If I have like, whenever I start seeing experienced people, I definitely just shut up and listen to what they say, because it's kind of like your elders, right? Like the elders, they have the knowledge. Like people think elders are useless. Some people actually think like that. Like, but really, they have all the knowledge. If you just sit down and talk to them, you'll learn so much.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah,
it's just,
ask the right questions and then be quiet and let them talk.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's always fun speaking to like an elder person, because it's just kind of,
it's really cool.
Really, like, hey, tell me your favorite story of your life. And they'll go
listening to some of these people that grew like back in like the Gorilla Grow days when it was so illegal. And there's people like they're talking about we had 5-gallon buckets on pulleys and we had to like raise them up into the trees, and I'm like, oh, doesn't that get heavy when they get big? Oh yeah, they get heavy, but we got to go out like once a month or once every couple weeks and make sure that the pots are heavy, they got water, and like, well, how many would you do?
Yeah.
Oh, like 200. Like, do you do that 200 times twice? Well, like every 2 weeks? I'm like, man.
Yeah.
Like a good trick that we used to do when we were younger, actually, I don't even like remember how I learned this, but like I used to grow outside with a few friends, and during the summer we would grow. So we had this huge candle store that was by my house, like an actual candle factory. And they always threw out like big, thick candle wicks, because I guess the candle wicks would like they come in big sheets, but you actually like slice off the wick to make the wick. I don't know how they fucking do it, but there was a whole bunch of candle wick stuff. So you would actually like cut this wick and tie it together and put one end in like a little river or water bed, whatever, run the wick up to our plants, wrap the wick around the roots, bury the plant in the fucking soil, then we would come back just to look at the plants. We'd never give them water because they would actually pick it up from the pond, right? But the thing, and you would like, when we would walk up to our plants, it would be like dead growth around because there's no rain. There was like a drought, but the line from our wick to the fucking pond to our plants was like a perfect green fucking path right up the fucking river. You're like, holy shit! Like, we gotta figure this out. So we had to like lift them up off the ground eventually. Like, that was like a funny thing. But yeah, candle wicks work amazing if you can get a bunch of them and tie them up together, big long ones, like before they are used.
That would be actually a really good trick for your houseplants if you went on vacation or something. You know, just kind of bury a wick down there and stick a bottle of water, and you wouldn't have to worry about someone coming in and watering the plants. Just houseplants anyway.
I've definitely heard of people doing that with like houseplants and stuff like that, but I've never heard people doing it like out of the river for however far you had to go. That's what we used to do. I used to carry in a bag of soil once, and we used to just buy like potting mix in the stores. Like, we weren't like professionals back then. We didn't know buy super soil and fucking add like all this shit. Like, we were just punk kids, man. We would like go to the fucking store and be like, what's the best soil you got for? Yeah, and they like, use fucking that stuff. So we just buy a bunch of those bags. We go out to the bush somewhere, find the nice pond that's clean with flowing water. And then we would punch a bunch of holes in the bottom of our bags. We would dig holes, like say 1.5 feet into the earth, so it's kind of cool down there. And then we'd dig half the bags out, put the wicks all inside the bags, put the fucking plants back in, backfilled, put the bags in the hole that we dug, that's 1.5 feet, to kind of hide the plants now a little bit more, because you don't want them to sticking out in the air. And then we just backfill. So now like you can't really see the bags because they're backfilled. But the plants are not going to just grow in that bag. They're not going to like grow like in the earth, wherever, whatever. You know, we just thought like keep them in the bag. It's full of nutrients. Keep them contained. Wrap the wicks in there and let them go. And fuck, it was perfect, man. I probably learned that from one of my friends' parents, because my mom and dad did teach me that. That was probably one of my growers buddies who taught me that. That's a really good idea.
That was crazy, man. It works so well. You never water your plants. You just fucking you just look after them. So like, that's the main thing.
That. Mama has a greenhouse right on the lake. Yeah. You should try that.
Yeah.
Just in one of your plants this year, just to say you did it and you tried it, and
because I've been watering my, I tried it last year. I did my outdoor grow with the lake water. I walked down, I filled my bucket with the lake water, and then I went up and I watered my outdoor grow with it. And they loved it. Oh my goodness.
Nice.
They loved it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was
Man,
like
it's
I
full of
actually
nutrients.
sucked up a little minnow. I hate
Yeah.
to save it. I'm like, oh, if I hadn't have seen it, I would have just left it and it just would have been bone meal or fish meal or whatever, right? But I saw it. He was like,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, like scooped him up and ran him back in. So I like to think he swam off.
Holy fuck, you saved it? Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's nice of you, though.
I mean, I had
See, I'm thinking that's probably good
It is,
nutrients for your plant right there.
It would have been. Yeah, it would have been. You should have just buried it in
Yeah.
one of the plants real quick for sure, but at least you
next
saved
year,
it. It was quite
maybe this
thankful.
summer I'll just scooping them up.
You'll be out there catching that fish next
Yeah.
winter.
Yeah. Well, this summer you'll be using the wick maybe, so you won't even have to go down there to scoop up water. You just gotta put it. You just gotta find them.
I was gonna say, I bet you can find that on Amazon because there's so many people that make their own candles and stuff now. You can probably buy like a roll of candle wick.
How thick are we
Yeah,
talking
exactly.
here that I would need?
You want them to be thick. They gotta be like pretty
okay.
thick. Say like an inch thick, inch diameter. It has because eventually your plants are gonna get big and they're gonna suck a lot of water. So they're definitely gonna have to be thicker wicks. We used to tie them all together to make like a big, thick kind of wick, and then you get it pre-wet. Like you get it wet before you don't just lay it there dry. Like you actually get it wet first, and then it just stays wet. It just keeps
That's
on
so
sucking.
cool.
It's like a siphon thing almost.
Ken Alicia says sacrifice the minnow.
That's funny.
Yeah, you should have.
All right. Well, it looks like we're coming up on the hour here. We don't want to keep you all night, but it's been lovely chatting with you and getting to know you. I mean, it's so lovely to actually speak with somebody face to face and really get to know their personality, because we follow you and we watch you, but to be able to interact with you and actually ask you questions, it's really does mean a lot.
Yeah, and then like laugh, and yeah, it is. I enjoy it too. So like I said, it's a pleasure to be on here, and thank you so much for having me, because it is nice to meet people and see you guys and face to face. You know, like that's one day we'll see each other at an event, and we've already had this conversation. So
I'm hoping to see you in Niagara Falls. That'd be cool.
Hey, what's up?
High fives.
Yeah, man.
We'll get Mama to fly down.
Please come say hi. If you see me and I look all flustered and like I'm just walking around like a chicken with his head cut off, just come and tap me and say, hey man, come down to our
settle down, buddy.
I'm like, yo,
it'll be okay. Take a peek.
Yeah. So, okay. Yeah. Oh man, we were all outside just smoking mad joints. That's the fun thing about it.
Well, and if you're close enough to drive, like you're bringing all your own homegrown stuff, and you get to sample everybody else's, and they get to sample yours. Everybody gets to watch each other on Instagram and YouTube, and then you get to try it.
For sure, that's a good thing. Yeah, that's what's awesome about it all. Yeah, it's a great community. So it's really a privilege to be in it with everyone here. For sure.
It's definitely been a pleasure. I've got some homework to do now. I got to look up these lights. Can you send me the link to the name of the light company?
The green.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah,
yeah, because I want to look into that. I want to see if that's a thing. Because I think all of us just went boom with a knowledge bomb right there.
Like with the under canopy lighting. Yeah, for sure. I'll send you him for sure. He's a good dude too. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for having me. I hope you have a great evening.
The X up in the corner there. Thank you so much, and we'll be watching your show on YouTube.
Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.
So for anyone that missed it, we've got Northern Scrogger has a YouTube channel, and it's the Scrogging School. So he goes live and teaches you to scrog while he's interacting with you. It's a lot of fun. So I forgot to ask him what time it was on, but just go on YouTube. You'll see it. Northern Scrogger. You'll find it. Yeah. Oh,
maybe one of us will make a story and we'll post the next one so that everybody knows what time it is.
That's a good idea. Yeah, that's a really good idea. Yeah, that was a lot of fun tonight. That was a lot of fun. No, Troy, that was nice.
He's a cool dude.
A lot of fun.
And now,
all right,
now I want to try scrogging again. I didn't like it because I'm in a tent, right?
Yeah.
And it's hard to get to everything.
Yes.
But someday when I have a room like what he has, and I can walk all the way around the net, or the screen, I should say.
Yeah.
I think it would be a lot better for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Or you could just do the math and,
Well, that's what I plan on doing now. So
I'm teasing. Math is banned
do the
from
math.
this, remember?
Yes. Math is banned.
So so just for everybody that's still hanging out with us here, so on Friday nights we do have Grow Me Gardens, and it's 9 p.m. Eastern here on Instagram, and it's basically, like you said, an open mic night. Andrew from Vermabec says, "Come for the gardens, stay for the laughs," because we usually end up pretty hard.
I was gonna say it's a pretty wild time by the end of the night.
Oh yeah,
that's our kind of let loose night.
Yeah, that's our fun days. That's my favorite night of the week, actually. I love Grow Me Gardens. It's so much fun getting to catch up with everybody and hanging out with the peeps, because they really do make the community. You know, we're just faces, but they make.
Well, and like what Northern Scrogger said, like if there wasn't people watching it or wanting to see it, we wouldn't do it.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, we'd still be doing this, but we wouldn't be doing lives, and we wouldn't be posting our stuff on Instagram. It's because people like it.
Exactly. If I put my first post out and I got 1 like, I probably wouldn't have put a second out. You know, but I got 10. So I was like, oh,
there you go.
Likes it. All right.
We're famous right away. That's funny.
So everybody, make sure your legs are all nice, and your plant's legs are all nice and shaped up for Friday night. You know, we like to see those long legs.
Especially if you got that scrog net.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, that was so much fun. Okay, so let's go ahead and wrap it up, and we'll take this offline. We'll just say goodnight to everybody, and we'll see everybody here on Friday. We want you to show us your grow. We want to see it.
Come show
to grow.
That's right. All right.
All right. Good night,
Thank
everyone.
You for coming, everybody.
Happy Tuesday.
Thanks. Had to get it in there. All right. Good night.
Good night.